again, and we are in week 3 of the Color Me Healthy program. And this week, we're going to be talking about an adventure. And it's an adventure in eating, because trying new foods can be fun and exciting. So I like to think of it as an adventure. So raise your hand if you like to try new foods. Good! So some of you do, and I think you're really going to like the lesson today. So the last 2 weeks, we talked a lot about different colors and all different colors of the rainbow. So we're going to review those colors that we talked about, and when we review these colors, I'm going to share with you a food that would go into each color group. And if you've tried this food, you're going to stand up. And if you haven't tried it, you're just going to stay seated in your seat. So let's get started with our first group. So the blue group, so these are blueberry muffins. Stand up if you've tried blueberry muffins. Excellent! All right, everyone have a seat. Let's go on to our next color group, the brown group. So stand up if you've tried bread before. Fabulous! All right, everyone have a seat. Let's see the next one. So stand up if you have had cheese before. So this is the orange group. So stand up if you've tried cheese before. Wonderful! Everyone have a seat. So the next one is the yellow group, and this is corn on the cob. Stand up if you've tried corn on the cob before. Excellent! All right, everyone have a seat. This next one's a little tricky. So this is the purple group. Stand up if you've tried an eggplant before. Wow, so some of us have tried it. Let's go on to the green group, and this is lettuce. Stand up if you've tried lettuce before. All right, I think a lot of us have tried this one. Everyone have a seat. Let's go on to the white food group. Let's stand up if you have tried popcorn before. So some of us have had this popcorn. All right, everyone have a seat for our last color group, and that's the red color group. And stand up if you've tried a red pepper before. Fantastic, friends. All right, everyone have a seat. So as you could see from looking around the room, we've all tried different foods. So maybe there's foods that you've tried that your friends or your family haven't yet. Or maybe there's foods that your friends and family have tried that you have not tried yet. So it's so important to try new foods, because we will never know if we like something unless we give it a try. And did you know that our taste is always changing? So foods that you never cared for before, maybe you're gonna love now if you give them a try. So we'll never know unless we try it. And it takes trying things multiple times to realize or to notice if we really like it or not. So what should we do if we try something that we don't really like? Should we run to the trash can and spit it out? No. Should we scream, "This is disgusting"? No. Should we yell, "Gross! How can you eat this"? No, we don't want to do that either. So let's talk about what we should do if we try something one time we don't care for. So maybe we could just politely remove it from our mouth in a napkin and set it on the side of the table. We could even just chew it up and swallow it. Now, if I got something in my mouth that I didn't really care for, maybe I'm going to use words like, this isn't my favorite, or I don't care for it today, or I didn't really like it because it was too soft, or it was a little too sour for me, but I'm so happy that I tried it. So next time you try a new food, I encourage you to be polite about it if you don't care for it. So now I'm going to play a song for you. And this song is called Try New Foods. And in this song, there's going to name all different kinds of foods. And I want you to listen and see if you hear some foods in this song that you've had before. And I also want you to listen to see if you hear foods in this song that you've never tried before. So let's get ready, and I'm going to play my song. And while it's playing, feel free to clap to the beat or even sway back and forth to the beat.
If you have a favorite food, you can try a new one. You can try new foods, something new to you. If you try new foods, then they can be your favorites too. If you like apples, try a pear. Like carrots, sticks, try celery. You can try new foods, something new to you. If you try new foods, then they can be your favorites too. If you like grapes, try cherries too. Like corn on the cob, try string beans. You can try new foods, something new to you. If you try new foods, then they can be your favorites too. If you have a favorite food, then you can try a new one. You can try new foods, something new to you. If you try new foods, then they can be your favorites too.
All right, so did we like that song? These songs are always so catchy that are part of this program. So in this song, they named off so many different foods. So what were some of the foods that you heard in this song that you've tried before? Great, friends! It sounds like we have tried a lot of different foods. Some foods they named in the song that I've tried were apples and celery and carrots and corn on the cob. Now, did you hear any foods in this song that you've never tried before? What were those foods? Great! So maybe there were some foods in this song that you've never tried before. And I encourage you, if you've heard something you haven't tried before, to go home and see if you can give it a try sometime and see if you like it. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about some of my favorite foods. So we're going to do that by playing a game. So I'm going to read some clues to you, and I'm going to read 3 clues to you for each vegetable that's one of my favorites. And after each clue, I'm going to show you what the vegetable looks like, and then we're going to talk about it and see if we can guess what it is. Are we ready to play? All right. So the first one is, I have green leaves, but the part of me you eat is white. I am a buddy of broccoli. I taste delicious, cooked or raw. So let me show you it. So it looks like this. What is this, friends? If you guessed cauliflower, you are correct. So this is cauliflower. So most of the time we just eat this white part up here, but you can eat the bottom part. Just the bottom part is really tough. So you would need the help of a grown-up to help cook this for you so it can soften up a little bit. Now, I like to eat cauliflower by just breaking it apart and dipping it in my favorite dip. I also like to cook it and mash it up and eat it instead of potatoes. Or cook it and grate it and eat it just like I would rice. So raise your hand if you've tried cauliflower before. Wonderful, friends! Let's go on to the next one. Many people think that I am a vegetable, but I am actually a fruit. People like to use me to make spaghetti sauce and pizza sauce. I can be yellow, orange, red, or even shades of brown. So let me show it to you. What is it, friends? If you guessed a tomato, you are correct. So let me show you what a bunch of them looks like. All right, so these are tomatoes, so they connect to the vine right here. We can grow tomatoes in our backyards when it's the summertime in Michigan, so when the weather is a little bit warmer than it is today, okay? So these tomatoes, maybe I would cut them up and put them in a salad. They're a little too big just to eat whole, but sometimes if you get little tomatoes, you can just eat them whole. Maybe I would even slice them up and bake them in the oven with the rest of my vegetables. Or if you've had spaghetti or pizza, you have tried tomatoes because tomatoes make spaghetti sauce and pizza sauce. So raise your hand if you've tried tomatoes. Fantastic! It looks like we've all tried them before, and that's probably because we've all tried spaghetti and pizza before. So let's go on to the next one. I grow on bushes. I can be red, green, yellow, orange, white, or even purple. I am not spicy, but some of my cousins are. Let me show you what it looks like. What is this, friends? If you guessed a bell pepper or a green pepper, you are correct. Good job. So this is a bell pepper, and it gets its name because of its shape. It's kind of shaped like a bell. This top part is where it would connect to the plant up at the top right here. Bell peppers are a sweet pepper. They're not a spicy pepper. So I love to take my bell peppers and cut the tops off and stuff them with rice and meat, all right, and make a stuffed pepper. I also like to just slice them and use them instead of a chip with my favorite dip, or cut them up and put them in a salad. Raise your hand if you've tried a bell pepper before. Wonderful! So we have two more for us to guess. I can be red, purple, green, or even white. I'm closely related to cauliflower and broccoli. I can be pretty heavy, weighing on average 1 to 9 pounds. So if you look at this and take a guess, what do you think it is? If you guessed cabbage, you are correct. So this is a cabbage, and cabbage tastes really good if you chop it up and you put it in a soup for some cabbage soup. I also like to slice it and put it on my grill for grilled cabbage. I also like to peel the leaves off, so the leaves come off just like this. And I like to put meat and rice or other vegetables in them and roll them up to have stuffed cabbage. Okay. Cabbage is really sweet. It tastes really sweet, especially when you cook it. Raise your hand if you've tried cabbage before. Wow, this is so fun, friends. All right, let's go on to our last one. I am known as a winter squash because of my hard outer skin. When I am cooked, people will eat me instead of spaghetti noodles. There are many different varieties of me, so many different kinds of me. Let me show you this. Okay. What do we think this is, friends? If you guessed a winter squash or a spaghetti squash, you are correct. So this is a spaghetti squash, and the outside, if I knock on it, it's really hard. And it's hard so it protects itself, so it can grow in colder weather, like the fall season in Michigan or the start of the winter season in Michigan. So let me show you the inside of it. So this is the inside of it. and there's all these seeds in here. So I would take these seeds out before I cooked it. And I could put it in my microwave to cook it, or with the help of a grown-up, it could go into the oven to cook. And after it's done cooking, when you start to eat it with a fork, it's gonna look kind of like spaghetti noodles. So I love to cook it and put spaghetti sauce on it and eat it for my spaghetti. Raise your hand if you've tried a spaghetti squash or maybe even a different winter squash. Fabulous, friends. So how many of you like that activity? I bet there was something that we talked about today that maybe you've tried before, or maybe you haven't tried before. But I just wanted to share with you those because those are some of my favorites. So now before we come to an end of our time together today, we are going to finish reading our book. Let me put my screen back up. Called Eating the Alphabet, Fruits and Vegetables from A to Z. So if you remember from last week, we read this book too, but we only got through letter M. Today we're going to finish and read the rest of the letters of the book. So, Eating the Alphabet, Fruits and Vegetables from A to Z. Let's review the M that we talked about last week. So M is for melon and mango. N is for nectarine. O is for okra and onion and orange. P for peach and pineapple and pear. P for papaya, persimmons, pomegranate, and plum. P for parsnip and potato and pea. P for pepper and even pumpkin. Q for quincy. R for rutabaga, radish, and raspberry. R for radicchio and rhubarb. S for Swiss chard and spinach and starfruit and strawberry. T for turnip, tomato, and tangerine. U for ugly fruit. V for vegetable marrow. W for watercress and watermelon. X for Zika, Y for yam, and Z for zucchini. So that's the end of our vegetable ABC book. So today we talked about the letters M through the end of the alphabet. Now, how many of you heard something in that book today that you've never tried before? Good. So there were things in this book that I've never tried before either, like the X for the Ziga or the W for the watercress. So there's some foods that I still need to try too. So we're coming to an end of our lesson together today, friends. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see all of you next week. Have a good week.